Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Rolene Marks. Welcome to the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land, where we take a look at your headlines making news in Israel, and we do this every Monday to Thursday. Now, before I get into the headlines, I just want to make a note. Tomorrow there may not be an Israel Brief. I'm going to try and bring it to you, but I am headed to the south of Israel, to the communities and kibbutzim that were affected by the massacres of the 7th of October. And of course, depending on the ability, depending on, security clearances, etc., I will try and bring you an Israel brief. But if you don't see me tomorrow, I will miss you, but I will catch you on Monday. So here's hoping I get the opportunity to record a brief, or at least something from these areas. It is so important that we continue to bear witness to the atrocities of the 7th of October, especially as so many people, deluded people, I call them real-time Holocaust deniers, deny those events. So let's take a look at the latest developments. Today is day 89 of Israel's war with Hamas, and last night news breaking that the deputy the political chief of Hamas, Salah Al-Aruri, had been assassinated by a drone in a suburb of Beirut in Lebanon. He was killed along with 5 other Hamas operatives. According to witnesses and reports, not a single civilian was killed in that surgical precision strike. So who was Al-Aruri? Well, he was one of the masterminds of the 7th of October atrocities. As the deputy political head of Hamas, he wanted to try and bring together the Hamas operatives in the West Bank. He wanted to bring together Hezbollah and the Hamas terrorists in the Gaza Strip as well. He was also the founder and commander of the Izz ad-Din al-Qassam Brigade, that is the Hamas military wing, and was on Israel's most wanted list. The chief of the Mossad, David Barnea, speaking earlier today, said that anyone who participated in committing atrocities against Israeli citizens and foreign nationals on the 7th of October have signed their own death warrant. The Lebanese Prime Minister cautioned Jerusalem about drawing Lebanon in what he calls a new phase of the war. And as has been stated by several Israeli officials, we have no intentions of getting into a war with Hezbollah, who are stationed in the south of Lebanon. However, Hezbollah have been firing anti-tank missiles and rockets towards Israeli towns and Israeli outposts. And as any sovereign state would do, we have responded by firing back. Hezbollah have threatened reprisals for the assassination of Al-Aruri. Meanwhile, today marks the anniversary of the assassination of Qasem Soleimani, assassinated allegedly by the Americans, and earlier today a blast near his tomb in Iran, killing 20 people, was heard. In other news, we have been speaking a lot about anti-Semitism on campuses. A couple of weeks ago, we spoke about that congressional hearing with the presidents of University of Pennsylvania, MIT, and Harvard. Well, last night the news broke that Claudine Gay, the president of Harvard, has resigned as the university's president. She will, however, retain her tenureship and her massive salary of $900,000. There are reports that she was fired due to the controversy around alleged plagiarism, but also it was her blind spot when it comes to anti-Semitism that also put the pressure on for her to resign. U.S. intelligence have confirmed the fact that the Al-Shifa hospital in Gaza, which was the site of a lot of media attention in the beginning of the war, was in fact used by Hamas and other terror entities as a command center. They said that their investigations had found that not only was it used as a command center by Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad, but they had, in anticipation of Israeli raids, had destroyed paperwork and documents and had moved hostages, as we had seen when the army went into Al-Shifa hospital and showed that one take video. We saw inside the hospital that hostages were held there. We saw AK-47s in the MRI room, grenades, bulletproof vests and other paraphernalia belonging to Hamas terrorists and other operatives inside the hospital. We also know that intelligence has revealed that the bodies of 2 hostages were found very, very close to the hospital. And finally, because we do try and end each news broadcast as much as possible with a positive story, there is a 30-man or 30 faculty member delegation from the University of Pennsylvania in Israel at the moment to show solidarity. They will meet with a variety of Israeli officials as well as see the sites and communities affected by the atrocities of the 7th of October and meet the families who still have their loved ones being held hostage by Hamas. Now, speaking of hostages being held by Hamas, there are reports, conflicting reports, because we have some reports that it's today, some reports on the 18th, that Kafir Bibas, the youngest hostage, is turning 1. We don't want Kafir to experience his first birthday as a hostage held captive by terrorists. So there are some reports that perhaps his Hebrew birthday is today and his Gregorian birthday is on the 18th. But we do know that regardless of the date, we want Kafir and our other hostages, bring them home now. So that's it for today's edition of the Israel Brief. Welcome to all our new community members and those who are leaving less than pleasant comments. Thank you at least for watching the Israel Brief. And if you like this content, you will love our website, which you can find at www.layoftheland.online. Thank you to all the South Africans out there who are sending messages of solidarity. We see you, we hear you, and you strengthen us. You can find our Facebook page at Lottle's site. Our YouTube channel is at the Israel Brief. You guys know what to do. Like, share, subscribe. And we're on X, and you can find us at Lay of the Land 5. I'm Rolene Marks for the Israel Brief. You guys, you know what to do. Take care of yourselves and each other. God bless.